Welcome to DJ's Dancefloors and I Do's, the podcast that helps engaged couples like you plan an unforgettable wedding day, one beat at a time. Hello there, I'm your host, Shane Griffin, professional wedding DJ and MC with over 20 years of experience, and here I share real advice, smart planning tips, and behind-the-booth insights to help you feel confident, organized, and ready to celebrate your big day. Congratulations. Whether you're deep into wedding planning or just getting started, you are in the right place. Before we get started with today's episode, a couple of reminders, if I may. First, check us out on social, Facebook and Instagram at Shane Griffin Entertainment. Secondly, like and subscribe to this podcast so you can be alerted when new episodes drop. And third, visit our website, letshaneentertain.com. There you can find our list of entertainers, pricing, vendor referral partners, our informative blog, and really everything you need to help you make informed entertainment decisions. Now, lastly, I've developed a free ebook, and it's titled The Bride's Guide to Wedding DJs, and it's available to you for free. If you'd like a copy emailed to you, simply send me an email, shanegriffinentertainment@gmail.com. That's shanegriffinentertainment@gmail.com. and I'll send it right out to you. This 8-page guide will help you immensely as you're making entertainment decisions. Okay, let's jump into episode 13, how to personalize your wedding reception without making it cheesy. Let me start with a question I want you to really think about for a second. When you imagine your wedding reception, do you picture something that feels uniquely yours? Something that reflects your personality and your story? Or do you picture something that looks and feels like every other wedding you've ever been to? Most couples, if they're honest, want two things at the same time. They want their wedding to feel personal and meaningful, but they also don't want it to feel awkward, forced, cringy, or uncomfortable. They don't want their guests sitting there thinking, well, that was different, in a bad way. They want different in a good way. They want memorable, not weird. Intentional, not trying hard. Emotional, not embarrassing. And that's exactly what today's episode is all about. How to personalize your wedding reception without making it cheesy. Because personalization is one of the most understood parts of wedding planning. Some couples think personalization means adding more stuff, more props, more games, more gimmicks, more announcements, more look at us moments. In reality, the more you pile on, the more likely it is that things start to feel forced instead of meaningful. True personalization isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right things in the right way at the right time. And your DJ plays a massive role in that, because personalization only works when it's delivered properly. You can have the best idea in the world, and if it's executed poorly, it falls flat. On the flip side, you can have a simple idea, and when it's executed well, it becomes one of the most memorable parts of the night. Let me give you an example. I once worked with a couple who loved Disney, like really loved Disney. They met at Disney. They had gone to Disney multiple times a year. It was their thing. And they wanted to incorporate that into their wedding. Now, there are two ways that could go. Way number one, full Disney takeover. Characters, costumes, sound effects, over-the-top references, you get it. Guests feel like they walked into a theme park. Way number two, subtle, intentional touches. They chose option 2. We used instrumental Disney music during cocktail hour. We used a soft Disney love song for their last dance of the night. Their table numbers were named after their favorite Disney movies, and during their thank you speech, the groom casually referenced how Disney brought them together. That was it. Guests picked up on it. They smiled, they connected, they thought, that's so them. Not one person, I believe, thought it was cheesy. Now let me tell you about another couple. They wanted to do a relationship trivia game in the middle of dinner. They wanted me to stop the music, hand out cards, quiz guests about their dating history, and then give prizes. On paper, that sounded cute, and we talked about it on the planning call. In real life, it would have killed the energy. I gently talked them out of it. We turned it into a quick, fun moment during toasts instead, a few playful questions, 30 seconds, and then done. Same idea, better execution. That's the difference. Personalization lives and dies in execution. Like what you hear so far? Then give us a like, please, and be sure to subscribe. If you're a newly engaged couple, this podcast, DJs, Dancefloors, and I Do's, was built specifically for you. And today, we're covering how to personalize your wedding reception without making it cheesy. Now, let's talk about where couples go wrong with personalization. The biggest mistake I see is trying to impress guests instead of connecting with those guests. Couples think, we need something no one's ever seen before. So they Google unique wedding ideas and end up with 20 Pinterest boards full of smoke bombs, choreographed dances, flash mobs, shoe games, garter games, bouquet alternatives, scavenger hunts, and interactive stations. You get the idea. And suddenly their reception feels like a cruise ship activity schedule. Here's the truth. Your guests don't want to be entertained every second. They want to be included. They want to feel comfortable. They want to feel emotionally connected to you. They want to celebrate with you. They don't want homework. And that's why simple personalization always wins. Let me tell you about one of my favorite personalized moments ever. A bride once told me during planning, my dad and I used to listen to Lullaby by Billy Joel every morning on the way to school. What a great song. It's not a popular wedding song. It's not trendy. It's not something you'd find on a top 50 first dance songs list. But it meant something to her. So instead of making it a big production, we surprised her dad. During the reception, I said, folks, before we move on, the bride has something special she'd like to share with her father. We played the song, they hugged, he cried, she cried. The room went absolutely silent. No gimmick, no props, no forced participation, just meaning. That's personalization done right. Now let's talk about music, because music is the easiest and most powerful way to personalize your reception. Every couple has their songs that represent their relationship, songs that remind them of trips, seasons of life, late night drives, breakups, reunions, first dates, inside jokes, you get it. A great DJ doesn't just play those songs randomly. They place them intentionally. For example, maybe your favorite song becomes your last dance. Maybe the song that played on your first date becomes your cake cutting song. Maybe the song you always sing in the car becomes part of open dancing. Placement matters. I once had a couple who loved a very emotional song and they wanted it played, but they originally put it in the middle of dancing. To me, that was the wrong spot, so we moved it to right before last call. It became a moment. People swayed, couples hugged, it landed. Same song, different placement, completely different impact, and that's what your DJ helps with. Would you like my free ebook titled The Bride's Guide to Wedding DJs? Well, simply send me an email at shanegriffinentertainment@gmail.com. This free 8-page guide will help you immensely as you're making entertainment decisions. Thanks so much for listening today to DJs, Dancefloors, and I Do's. This is episode lucky number 13, how to personalize your wedding reception without making it cheesy. Now let's talk about announcements and storytelling. One of the best ways to personalize a reception is through small, thoughtful, storytelling moments, not long speeches, life stories, just little context. For example, instead of saying, "This is their first dance," a DJ might say, "This is the song they listened to on repeat during the first year of dating." Instant connection. Your guests will lean into that. I once worked with a couple who met at a gym. Instead of making it a joke, we framed it as, they met while both trying to better themselves, and they've been growing together ever since. That's personalization. It's not about embarrassing details. It's about meaningful framing. Now let's talk about decor and visuals for a minute, because personalization often gets dumped there. Couples think, we'll personalize with signs. And suddenly there are 15 signs. A welcome sign, hashtag sign, unplugged ceremony sign, bar menu sign, so on and so forth. And at some point, Guests feel like they're in an IKEA showroom. Signs are fine, but signs are not personalization. Personalization is experience. Let me tell you about a couple who love traveling. Instead of doing a bunch of signs, they named tables after cities they'd visited together. Each table had one photo and one sentence about the trip. Guests absolutely loved it. They talked about it. They connected. It was simple and intentional. How about humor? Humor can be a big part of personalization. Every couple has their own sense of humor, that's for sure. Some are sarcastic, some are goofy, some are subtle, and some are dry. Your DJ really should match that. I once worked with a couple who were very dry, witty people. Great people, but very dry, very witty. During their entrance, instead of hyping it up, I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the couple who planned this entire wedding in Excel." The room laughed, and they even laughed. It fit them. Another couple loved dad jokes, so we sprinkled in light humor all night. Another couple hated jokes, so we kept it elegant. Personalization means aligning tone with personality. Some things should be left alone. The biggest example? Embarrassing stories. Just because something is your story doesn't mean it belongs in front of 150 or 200 people. I've had couples suggest things like, "Let's tell everyone how we broke up for 6 months," or "Let's talk about that awful first date." No, just no. Your reception is not a podcast episode about your relationship history. Protect your dignity. Another danger zone, forced participation. Listen, not everybody wants to play games. Not everybody wants to be called out. Not everyone wants to be spotlighted. If your personalization requires your guests to perform, my opinion is you might want to think twice. Now, an underrated area is food and drink personalization. I once had a couple who loved craft beer, so they featured 3 different local brews with little descriptions, and guests loved it. Another couple had a signature cocktail named after their dog. Instant hit. Another couple served late-night breakfast because that's what they always ate together. Again, simple. Now, what about the grand entrance? Your entrance is one of the easiest places to personalize without being cheesy. You can walk in calmly. You can dance in. Do something subtle. Do something energetic. But the key is authenticity. If you're not dancers, please don't force it. If you're shy, don't pretend to be hype. If you're energetic, don't turn it down. Be you. I once had a couple who practiced a TikTok dance literally for weeks. On the day of, they froze, and it was painful. Another couple just walked in smiling and holding hands, and guests loved it. Guess which one felt better? Personalization fails when it interrupts flow. If your special moment stops the party, kills the energy, and makes guests wait, it's just not worth it. Your DJ helps you place moments so they can enhance, not interrupt. That's why working closely with your professional DJ matters so much. What about cultural personalization? Cultural traditions are powerful. They create connection, they educate guests, they honor family. When done well, they are simply beautiful. When rushed or poorly explained, they're confusing. A good professional DJ helps frame cultural moments so everybody understands and appreciates them. How about the final moments? Your ending is a chance to really personalize. Last dance, final song, group moment, send-off. I once closed with a couple's favorite childhood song. Everybody sang it. It was perfect. Another couple chose silence and candlelight, which was certainly unique. Both of those worked because they matched the couple. Now, I want to give you a simple rule to consider. If your personalization serves one of these 3 purposes, it probably works. 1, it tells your story. 2, it honors someone important. And 3, it creates connection. If it doesn't do one of these 3 things, you might want to rethink it. I talked about all of this today to say the couples who personalize best trust their DJ. They bring ideas, they ask questions, they listen to feedback, but they do collaborate with the DJ. The couples who struggle insist on every idea and managing every minute of the event, even when it doesn't fit. Listen, I've said this before, I'll say it again. When it comes to your wedding DJ, experience matters. I've seen hundreds of receptions. I've seen what lands. I've seen what crashes and burns. That's what you're paying for. Your professional DJ isn't there to kill your creativity. We are there to refine it. So trust us. Thanks so much for listening today. I really appreciate it. Here's my final thought for you. Your wedding does not need to be unique. It needs to be genuine. Guests can tell the difference. They know when something feels real. They know when something feels forced. When your reception reflects who you actually are, people connect. When it reflects Pinterest trends, they forget it. So personalize intentionally, simplify boldly, trust experience, focus on meaning, and when you do that, your wedding won't feel cheesy. It'll feel like you. And that's what people remember. Thanks for listening to DJ's Dance Floors and I-Dos. If today's episode helped you feel more confident about your wedding entertainment plans, I'd love for you to follow this podcast, leave a review, or share it with someone newly engaged. Our goal here is to provide free, unbiased content to help you make better entertainment decisions. DJ's Dance Floors and I-Dos is a presentation of Shane Griffin Entertainment, produced by Rob Duran. Check us out on social, Facebook and Instagram at Shane Griffin Entertainment, and at our website, letshaneentertain.com. That's letshaneentertain.com. One more reminder about the free ebook titled The Bride's Guide to Wedding DJs. To request your free copy, send me an email, shanegriffinentertainment@gmail.com. That's shanegriffinentertainment@gmail.com. Join us for our next episode, number 14, Wedding Day Backup Plans, How a Professional DJ Prevents Disaster. Until then, cheers!